Remember Sonic Underground? Because I do. I remember it really well, because I watched the 40 episodes that were available of that show pretty much every night as a child on a channel called Pop, and on a segment of that channel called Pop from midnight till 6 a.m. called Pop Through the Night. And it showed every episode of Sonic Underground. But the one issue I have with Sonic Underground is not Manic the Hedgehog, who is maybe my favourite Sonic character. It's not even Sonia, who may be my least favourite Sonic character. It's actually the fact that it never got an ending. Everyone knows that. Sonic Underground never got an ending. No final battle, no reunion with their mother, no defeat of Robotnik, just nothing. But what if I told you Sonic Underground did end? Not in animation, but the story itself was wrapped up in an Archie comic. Well, that's what we're going to cover today. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone off the binary scale. I am Yugi Joe, and you're going to listen to me yap about Sonic Underground as a big nerd and how the ending is actually pretty cool. So, Sonic Underground, it's a rock opera, or is it an orphan trauma drama? Is it actually a royalty show about monarchy and overthrowing governments? I can't tell you what this show is about. It is crazy what this show is about. And somehow nobody talks about this. This is a show where Sonic isn't just a fast blue hedgehog. He's the estranged son of a missing queen who happens to be the emperor of the current place they're all living in, except she was overthrown by Robotnik, who in this isn't just like a leader, he's like a monarch now, and he's like, he's not just got cool little tech bits, like everything is run by him, and he's like this overlord. And then on top of that, Sonic is the brother to two other hedgehogs who were also separated from him at birth, and they were raised by two different people. And then, on top of that, he has a fucking guitar that literally explodes robots. Not metaphorically exploding robots. Literally, the guitar's a fucking gun. It's crazy. I don't know what crack people were taking to make this show, but I'm so grateful that they were. Because in this version of Sonic's world, Robotnik isn't just like trying to take over, he's already industrialized the planet. He turned it into like a metallic Big Brother surveillance state where like most things are illegal, including Sonic and his siblings. And like you can't see any nature, like nature just seems to be gone. It's all weirdly post-apocalyptic. And the only thing standing between, you know, this domination that Robotnik has like mechanized upon to the people is a fucking rock band made up of Sonic and his siblings. Not like traditional freedom fighters. This isn't the Rebel Alliance. It's a fucking band. This is Sonic Underground. The premise alone is mental. Instead of like, you know, your usual lone wolf Sonic, right, who has like some friends and stuff, Sonic Underground introduces his siblings Sonia and Manic. Each of them was secretly given away at birth to protect them from Robotnik, which means Sonic grew up as a street rat, Sonia grew up as literal royalty still, and Manic grew up as a thief who had to steal things to survive. But here's the thing. They don't reunite to fight Robotnik. They reunite to fulfill a prophecy. Yeah, like a literal prophecy. Because apparently, Sonic lore now includes a green dude who can tell the future. Oh, and they've all got instruments. Sonic has a gun guitar, Sonia has a gun keyboard, and Manic has gun drums. When they play together, their music unleashes like literal destructive energy. It's capable of destroying Robotnik's machines, which means that every battle in the show sort of ends the same way. It's like not clever tactics or anything like that. It's just like an all-out song brawl. But that means there's like a song in like every episode, and the songs are real, like fully produced, fully performed original songs. Like 1 minute Sonic is running from robots, the next he's singing about believing in himself while firing laser beams out of his guitar. We're not here to question Sonic Underground constantly on its themes or anything, but beneath the neon colors and like musical numbers, Sonic's world in this universe is bleak. The planet is completely conquered, nature is gone, all the citizens live in fear, and Robotnik's already won. So what we have to do is we have to believe in this prophecy. Now you ask, what is the prophecy? Well, the prophecy is when Sonic and his siblings reunite with their mother, the true queen, they will be able to defeat Robotnik and change the lives of all the citizens again and, you know, stop the citizens from living in fear and take the world back for themselves. So, Sonic Underground is about searching for his mother. They're searching for answers, searching for a home, because they're constantly on the road, which again, being on the road, kind of a music thing. They have to keep doing this to not only fight back against Robotnik's forces, but also find their mum, you know.
Sonic Underground, they made a vow their mother will be found.
But here's the thing, right? It's a very Monster of the Week episodic thing. There's these two villains who show up in mostly every episode. Robotnik never really wins. He might get close sometimes, but he never really wins. They send machines. They do a song. Song destroys machines. Other bad guys get defeated. Blah, 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 blah. And they slowly move this plot along to the point where Sonic meets his mother. Except no, he never finds her. They never find their mother. The prophecy is never fulfilled. In 40 episodes of this batshit crazy show, they never, I don't know, fulfill the prophecy? So Sonic never reaches his destiny. Everyone still sucks in the show. Everyone's still under the thumb of great big mechanized Robotnik. It's kind of bleak. As an ending, 40 episodes in, it's still bleak. So, what am I doing here today? Well, as I said earlier, there is an ending. There is an ending to the show, and it is not episode 40. With his siblings, with his prophecy, with his guitar, he has a real ending. But how we get there is a little bit complicated. So let me break that down. So it was basically cancelled, but not really. So the one season, aka 40 episodes, aired with no payoff because the writers thought that there would be more. Ben Hurst, a notable writer from Sonic the Hedgehog television show, who was also heavily involved in Sonic Underground's production, stated that in his opinion, Sonic Underground was a perfect opportunity for the revival of Sonic the Hedgehog, but that opportunity was not seized by those in power at the time. You'd think that that's where it ends, but it doesn't. Because due to the show's quote-unquote cancellation, the storyline of Sonic Underground remained unresolved for a while until the staff at Archie Comics canonized it in one of their comics. So everything that Archie Comics was writing for Sonic at the time was completely canon, and it was headed up by Ian Flynn. Now, he did a Worlds Collide event sort of thing, and in that he showed the Underground crew, which canonized the whole events of the 40 episodes within the Archie Comics Sonic universe. Now, it was then revealed at New York Comic Con 2012 that Sonic Universe 50 of that comic series was intended to be an official epilogue of Sonic Underground. However, the issue instead featured a plotline starring Metal Sonic, and the epilogue seemingly got cancelled. But then Ian Flynn stated in early 2013 the epilogue story would be featured in Lost Hedgehog Tales, which is a document that he was putting on his website about all the Hedgehog tales he wanted to tell but couldn't at the time. Then in 2017, Sega announced its partnership with Archie Comics to be over, transferring all the publishing rights to IDW, which kind of meant it was the end for the Sonic the Hedgehog Archie comic series. And it meant that Sonic Underground would never be officially published by that company. Despite this, over the years, because the show has gained so much popularity, some attempts by fans have been made to finish this series and finish Ian Flynn's vision of the ending. And through that, there is a website called Archie Sonic Online, which does a fan continuation of the Sonic the Hedgehog comic series from Archie Comics. But they got their hands on the storyline that was to be put into the Underground comic for Sonic Universe 50. So they then made Sonic Universe 50 in the exact image that Ian Flynn initially planned. Therefore, we have a non-canon ending for Sonic Underground. What was this ending, you ask? Well, let's look at the comic now. So we start this story in Robotropolis as we see a ship flying over. It is Sleet and Dingo. They seem to be trying to run away from their duties with Robotnik because he has changed something about the way everything works, which we'll get onto in a second, about roboticizing people. And even Sleet says he does not want to be an obedient mutt anymore. We then cut to the most alarming thing. Robotnik has got the 3 hedgehogs locked in his cellar. Robotnik threatens them and they stay tough, but he then says, "We'll see how tough you are when you guys get roboticized." But just as all hope seems lost, a magic light appears in the air. It is their mother, the queen that they have been looking for to fulfill the prophecy with. She sets them free and tells them it is time that they finally defeat Robotnik. But to do it, she'll need their medallions. They trust their mother, so they give the medallions, and she flashes away, saying that she will be back as soon as possible. But the hedgehog triplets, they don't want to stick around and do nothing, so they decide that they're gonna go out on a high note. Sonic, Sonia, and Manic crash through the hallway, taking down robots, Sonic literally crashing through a robot's chest, and Manic goes on the computer to find something out. But just as he's on this computer terminal, he is grabbed from the dark, kidnapped away. Queen Alina shows up and asks a friend of hers to power the children's medallions because they need to use it to defeat Robotnik. Back with Sonic and Sonia, they are struggling to find Robotnik, but then Sonic says that she should use her emerald pendant. Even though it didn't go well last time, he says you can probably use it more safely this time. They see that Robotnik has Manic the Hedgehog kidnapped, and there is a dark figure holding him, and he is about to go in the roboticizer. Sonic and Sonia rush off to save their brother, but they bump into some of the people that helped raise them. People that they think are their mum, dad, and uncle who adopted them. But they have all been roboticized and turned evil by Robotnik. This is kind of Robotnik's final plan. If he can roboticize everyone, they'll all work for him. It's a really, really post-apocalyptic nightmare for the Sonic Underground crew. Sonic and Sonia are being crowded by robots and roboticized family members, and then all of a sudden Sleet shows up, and Sleet has also been roboticized, showing that he tried to turn away from Robotnik, but was chucked in the roboticizer to turn him back to Robotnik's side. Fortunately again though, Queen Alina is back, and she brings her weapon, which happens to be a microphone, finally completing what everyone needed from the band, a lead singer. She takes care of all the robots with a massive sonic scream. But unfortunately, Sleet wasn't affected. Sleet grabs the emerald from Sonia, and Sonia tries to warn him that it can be dangerous. But Sleet says he'll see about that, and all of a sudden tries to use the amulet, but gets sucked inside. Back with Robotnik and Manic, we see that not only Sleet has been roboticized, but of course Dingo too. And Dingo is now also back on the side of Robotnik, and he is the person that kidnapped Manic the Hedgehog. Manic is rage-baiting Robotnik, saying that Robotnik is just mad because Robotnik doesn't have a dad, or family, or friends, or anyone. And Robotnik gets angry and shouts that he has Manic, and then asks if he has any last words. And Manic the Hedgehog, being the absolute Chad that he is, says, "I don't do Mondays." Robotnik, angry, he's about to press the button to roboticize him, and bursting through the door, we see Knuckles and the rest of the gang, who are all the friends that they have made along the way, in the underground. The room fills up with more friends than Robotnik can handle, and they help Manic out of the roboticizer machine. Robotnik then calls for all of his SWAT bots to report to the control room immediately, But as they get there, Robotnik seems to realize that they're no good. The people and the friends that Sonic, Manic, and Sonia have made along the way are more than a match for his petty SWAT bots. Robotnik begins to abuse Dingo again, like he did throughout the whole show, saying even as a mutant, you can be roboticized. And this is kind of a hint to the fact that maybe Dingo isn't as roboticized as Robotnik thinks. And as he goes to abuse him for a second time, Dingo shoves Robotnik straight into the roboticizer himself and presses the button, getting rid of normal Robotnik and making him a mechanized slave. This is just as Sonia and Sonic and Queen Alina and the rest of the family arrive. Sonia is worried that Knuckles is there, asking about the floating island, but Knuckles says, don't worry, he's grounded the island for now, but he's brought backup for what's about to happen. And he gives his buddies the 7 Chaos Emeralds, which Queen Alina informs can do magical, wonderful things. And as an ending for Sonic Underground, we get to see Sonia, Sonic, and Manic the Hedgehog go supersonic with one of the coolest designs I have ever seen for these hedgehogs. And how else are they going to play us out of this comic? They begin to play the Sonic Underground theme song. As they play this theme song, it begins to save all the roboticized citizens from their Robotnik slavery and heal the people who were supposed to be the Queen's subjects. The Queen and her children then bump into the Oracle, who was the person who told of this prophecy that once they reunite, that they would take the world back. And they ask if the prophecy has been fulfilled. And the Oracle says nothing is truly over and there is still much work to do. But yes, the prophecy has come true. The Queen and her children became the Council of Four, reclaiming the kingdom and restoring proper order. All who were roboticized were now returned to normal. Families and people torn apart by Robotnik were once again made whole. The aristocracy was restructured, with those that had been loyal to Robotnik stripped of their noble bearings, and they were told that if they did good work amongst society, they could be reaccepted. Knuckles is seen amongst the clouds in his floating island again, and Dr. Robotnik, with the rest of his minions, are making up for all their past mistakes by running a dingo dog stand. Dingo then holds up the amulet and speaks to Sleet, who is still trapped in the amulet. And again, within the epilogue, it is spoken, and so ends our tale, though perhaps this is not the end. Yes, for this is clearly a beginning. Many more adventures are sure to follow, but those are adventures our royal family will experience not separated, but together. And that, everybody, is the end of Sonic Underground. Whether you think it is canon or not, Ian Flynn did a brilliant job with this. The Archie online comic scene did an amazing job of getting the art done for this. This was a wonderful ending and wrap up to a show that I loved so much as a kid. But thank you, everyone, for watching this video. I've been Yugi Joe. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace.